Hello everyone, this is Redden from Tempest, and I'm here to bring you yet another boss strategy guide for the new Scum and Villainy SOTOR operation. This time, we'll be infiltrating a city and taking down the colors of the rainbow. Join me as I explain the strategy for the fourth encounter in the raid, Operations Chief. This is a two-phase fight with a really cool concept for Phase 1. We're supposed to infiltrate a city to get to the end boss, but there are four color-coded teams that are on the lookout within the city, waiting for sneaky intruders just like us. We need to kill all four of these groups to get to Phase 2, and we have only 6 minutes to do so. Before we get into it, I want to remind you all that this is PTS footage, meaning these fights can be changed between now and when they hit live. If BioWare decides to do any significant changes to the fights and their mechanics, be sure to be subscribed to our channel to stay updated with a new, revised version of this video. There are two challenges that face your raid in Phase 1. The first of which is to navigate the city in order to reach each of the color-coded teams. Here's a map of the area, indicating each of the colored teams and their locations. Your raid starts here, and the idea is to send 2 raiders to each of the 4 colored teams. The streets of the city are constantly being patrolled by massive droids named Oasis Enforcer battle droids that have a huge amount of health and, although they can be easily avoided, are extremely annoying if aggroed. Each droid has a buff on it, which ensures that as soon as it dies, a fresh droid immediately replaces it. So the key here is to not aggro any of the droids. The droid aggro range seems to be more based on line of sight than raw proximity to the actual droid itself. You see us regularly sneak past them using crates, rocks, and other objects to avoid their direct line of sight. Getting to your colored teams can be as easy as following a straight line down the road. The raiders that are sent to the red team need to break off from the raid immediately after they leave the starting point and head over to their right. Follow the path while hugging the right wall until you reach the red-colored team. This is the easiest group to get to. Everyone else in the raid heads straight through this arch and follows the path. Hug your left-hand side to avoid the first patrolling droid. We go behind this crate to ensure that we don't aggro it. Continue hugging your left until you encounter the next patrolling battle droid. As soon as you see him, immediately hug the right wall and keep going straight. You'll notice the green team on a platform above you, seen here. Continue on straight and pass the ledge. You're going to reach a flight of stairs to your right, which leads to the green team's platform. This is where the raiders assigned to that team get dropped off. Go up the first set of stairs and engage the green team when you're ready. With 2 of your raiders engaging the red team and 2 of them engaging the green team, this leaves 2 more colors, gold and blue. The raiders assigned to these 2 teams should continue on ahead after the green team's stairs. When they get there, a patrolling droid leaves a sort of cubicle that it seems to have just been chilling in for some reason. Wait for the droid to go by and use the crate to line of sight the 2 nearby droids as we do here. Stick to your left and you'll see a gold-tinted arch which leads to where the gold team is. The raiders that are assigned to the gold team should wait for the patrolling droid to pass, then enter the room to engage the gold team. The blue team is the final one. The final 2 raiders that are assigned to this group need to continue on past the gold team's area and go through this arch on the right. You can clearly see the blue team's area behind this building. Instead of going straight to it and aggroing this battle droid though, we go left and wrap around the structure to get to the blue team. Before I explain what each of the teams do, I want to say a quick disclaimer so that nobody gets confused. In the footage I just showed you, you saw me engage 2 different color teams. This is not allowed in the actual encounter, as the colored teams will actually keep track of how many enemies from your raid engage them. For the 8-man version of the encounter, a maximum of 2 raiders can engage each team. The reason you see me do multiple teams is because this footage is from different times that we cleared the encounter in separate raids. The second challenge in Phase 1 is engaging the actual teams themselves. The general rule which applies to them all is that they are immune to crowd control abilities that break on damage, meaning no long duration flashbangs or whirlwinds. They are, however, susceptible to knockbacks, interrupts, and short duration stuns like electrocute and carbonize. We strongly recommend that you use these abilities aggressively to mitigate as much of the damage as possible. Begin the raid by assigning your raiders to different teams before you initiate the pull. A smart idea is to team a DPS with a non-DPS for each of these teams. By the end, you'll have 2 tank DPS teams and 2 healer DPS teams. Assign any team to go anywhere, but we recommend that you use a tank DPS team for the blue and red teams, since they seem to hit a little bit harder than the others. Each team is made of 2 mobs. For the red team, those mobs are named Red Team Flame Tech and the Red Team Assault Gunner. To successfully engage the red team, simply avoid the patches of flame that the Flame Tech puts on the ground and burn one of the mobs down while using CC abilities and defensive cooldowns. For the green team, you'll be fighting a Duelist and a Pyro Guard. The easiest way to do this is to knock one of them off the ledge to handle them one at a time, although they really aren't that difficult to handle. The only thing you need to watch out for is that after a while, a battle droid will patrol down the flight of steps above you, so be quick about getting out of there when you're done. For the gold team, you'll be fighting another Pyro Guard, but this time he's teamed up with a Medtech. The Medtech is a healer that needs to be consistently interrupted. Here, we burn down the Pyro Guard while focus interrupting the Medtech with anything that we could do to stop his casts. For the blue team, you'll be engaging 2 Pack Hunters. These guys hit a little harder, but only have a single mechanic named Shock Wave Strike. When they finish this cast, anyone in front of their cone will receive a massive hit and a nasty knockback. When they begin the cast of their shockwave, they become stationary, allowing you to wrap around them to avoid the frontal cleave. These are the only mobs with the unshakable buff, but that doesn't mean that a stun or a knockback wouldn't hinder their cast of shockwave. Remember to use defensives and aggressive short duration CCs on all mobs in all teams. As I mentioned previously, you'll have 6 minutes to do everything I mentioned above on hard mode and 10 minutes on story mode. I honestly hope that they reduce that time to something like 3 minutes or even 2 minutes for the hard mode. The fact is that the time limit is so lenient, it's as if it doesn't even exist. I really hope that this time significantly gets reduced for the fight when it goes live, or else it's just not really going to be that big of a challenge. Once all the colored teams are dead, your raid group needs to regroup all the way up top near the blue team. There will be an entrance to get to another room in that general area. This entrance leads to a room in which the actual boss of the encounter, named the Operations Chief, is located. If you aggro some of the droids at this time, it's a lot less of a problem since they despawn as soon as you engage the boss. Continue moving forward and enter the room. When everyone's inside, go ahead and engage the boss. This triggers Phase 2 of the encounter. The Operations Chief himself is essentially a tank and spank. He only does 3 mechanics of note. First, he will summon a few little floating droids named rail turrets. These need to be burned down as they spawn, and remember that they can be CC'd and taunted. He'll also cast an ability named Mass Explosive Probe. He'll throw an explosive probe on everyone in the raid simultaneously, except for the primary tank, causing them to explode for some big chunk of damage, either when the player gets hit by something, or when the duration of the debuff wears off, whichever one comes first. This debuff can and should be dispelled as a very high priority. The final thing that he does is an ability called Terminate, which he casts on his primary target. This is a physical damage ability, meaning it can be defended against. Although assassins aren't really the best physical tanks in the game, this thing was regularly nuking me for 34,000 health when I didn't shield or defend it, so it is recommended to have an off-tank taunt the boss immediately after it, so that you can avoid the primary tank getting killed by any follow-up hits that the boss would do to him. Aside from that, the Chief drops some random flashbangs that just act as a minor annoyance more than anything else. Kill the rail turrets, dispel the debuffs, and tank swap on the Terminate to collect your loot. That's it for this fight, guys. If you found the content useful, please be sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions regarding this video or any others, please feel free to comment below or send me a whisper in game. We're on the Prophecy of the Five server and we're always happy to hear from you. Enjoy!